When we talk about being creative, I think most of us immediately picture those like traditional artist types, right?
The painters, the musicians, maybe sculptors.
Yeah, exactly. It feels like this sort of exclusive club you have to be born into, maybe with some kind of innate magical talent.
Right, like it's this thing you have or you don't.
But what if that whole idea is, well, maybe completely off?
Yeah.
What if unlocking your creative side isn't really about trying to be the next Picasso or Mozart? What if it's about tapping into something, I don't know, simpler, something deeply connected to feeling happier, more fulfilled, and just really getting in the zone?
That's a really interesting way to frame it.
Well, that's exactly what we're diving into today. We've pulled together a whole stack of sources, articles, research, insights, everything from design thinking stuff to psychological studies.
Right.
All exploring what creativity really is, its powerful link to our well-being, and this fascinating state called flow.
Yeah, and our mission here in this deep dive is basically to unpack all that material and pull out the most valuable pieces. We want to show you just how accessible creativity really is.
For everyone, you mean, not just the artists.
Exactly. Regardless of how you see yourself right now. And crucially, how embracing it, even in, small ways, can genuinely shift your daily life and your sense of fulfillment.
Okay.
It's really about uncovering that practical path to tapping into this often underestimated source of joy and potential that's probably already inside you.
Okay, so let's tackle that first big idea then. This notion that creativity is just for certain people. The sources we looked at, they really push back on that, don't they?
Oh, absolutely. Right from the start. A core belief across the board, especially in things like the IDEO work, is that creativity isn't some rare gift.
Right.
It's presented much more as a skill, like think of it like learning to cook or playing a sport or maybe learning a language.
Something you practice and get better at.
Yeah, precisely. Something you can learn, practice, and improve over time. And really importantly, as other sources point out, it's not about hitting some professional standard or being judged as good by others.
Okay, so less about the final polished painting and more about the doing.
Exactly. The process, the intention. And the sources give us this much broader picture of what creativity actually looks like. It's definitely not just confined to a canvas or sheet music.
Shows up in other ways.
Yeah, tons of ways. The material highlights that creativity is basically happening whenever you approach something with a fresh eye or find a unique solution or express yourself authentically.
So like problem solving at work.
Definitely. Or deciding how to arrange your furniture, choosing an outfit that feels like you, making up a dance, writing code in a new way.
Huh. Even surgery. I think one source mentioned that.
Yeah, a surgeon navigating a complex procedure with real skill and innovation. It's all about bringing something new or unique into existence, no matter how small it seems.
Okay, so if creativity is this broad skill we all kind of have access to, what actually happens when we use it? The sources seem pretty convinced there's a direct line to happiness.
They really are. This is where the psychology gets super interesting. Studies mentioned in the material show a clear positive link between doing creative stuff, even simple things like sewing or gardening or just doodling, and people reporting higher life satisfaction and more happiness.
Wow.
And what's really striking is how significant that impact can be. Some of the research suggested it could affect your well-being almost as much as big factors we usually think of, like your age or even your physical health.
That's incredible. Seriously. Just like knitting a scarf could make that much difference.
Well, the accumulation of those small acts seems to. It suggests we might not need these huge life changes to feel better. Maybe just finding a little time each day or each week for some kind of personal creative outlet could make a real substantial difference.
Right. It's the act of creating itself that matters.
Exactly. And the sources dig into why this happens, biologically and psychologically.
Okay, tell me more.
Well, one big reason is just the basic human need for self-expression, right? And that sense of accomplishment you get from making something, anything.
I get that.
Plus, there's brain chemistry involved. Creative activity actually activates the brain's reward system. You get a release of dopamine.
The feel-good chemical.
Exactly. And that's linked not just to feeling pleasure right then, but also to motivation. It reinforces the behavior, makes you want to do it again.
So my brain is literally giving me a little treat for being creative. That explains a lot.
It does. And beyond that dopamine hit, Engaging creatively actually seems to increase connectivity between different parts of your brain,
Connectivity. How so?
particularly in areas linked to flexible thinking, problem solving, and adapting to new situations. So this enhanced cognitive flexibility isn't just good for brainstorming, it can actually foster a more optimistic outlook. It makes you more resilient when you face challenges.
So being creative makes your brain bendier, more adaptable.
Kind of, yeah. It promotes neural plasticity, your brain's ability to rewire itself and adapt. Engaging in diverse activities, including creative ones, helps build that flexibility.
Wow. So creativity doesn't just feel good. It actually makes us better equipped to handle life, better problem solvers, more adaptable, maybe even more resilient.
That's what the evidence points towards, a pretty powerful set of benefits.
Yeah, no kidding. And speaking of feeling totally absorbed and optimally engaged, this leads us right into that concept of flow, doesn't it?
It does, perfectly. Flow, which psychologist Csikszentmihalyi describes so well, is that state where you just become completely immersed in whatever you're doing.
Like time just disappears.
Exactly. You lose track of time, worries fade away, and you feel like you're operating at your absolute peak. People often call it being in the zone.
I think I know that feeling.
Csikszentmihalyi called it the merging of action and awareness. You're so focused that your actions feel almost effortless, yet you're completely present in the task.
Effortless, but focused.
Right. And this state often brings bursts of creative energy because your mind is just fully locked onto the activity. No room for distractions.
It sounds like intense concentration, but maybe enjoyable concentration. What do the sources say we need to actually find that state?
Well, the absolute key factor seems to be the balance between the challenge of the task and your current skill level.
Ah, the challenge-skill balance.
Yes. The task needs to be just slightly beyond what you can currently do easily. It has to be challenging enough to demand your full attention.
But not so hard you just get frustrated.
Exactly. Not so hard it causes anxiety or makes you want to give up. It needs to demand concentration but still feel achievable if you really focus.
Finding that sweet spot right on the edge.
That's the perfect way to put it. Your growth edge. Too easy, you get bored, your mind wanders. Too hard, you get overwhelmed and stressed out. Flow happens right in that zone where the challenge feels just right, pulling you in.
Okay, I can picture that. Like trying to learn a tricky guitar riff, maybe? Or like you said, a surgeon totally focused.
Precisely. Or someone rock climbing, figuring out the next hold. Or even, as some sources mention, more mundane things done mindfully, like washing dishes with full attention.
Washing dishes, really?
Yeah, if you're fully focused on the sensations, the task itself, or think about getting really into a video game, trying to beat that next level, it's about that intense focus driven by the right level of challenge.
Okay, got it. And the payoff. Why chase this flow state?
Well, the sources are really clear. Flow is strongly linked to happiness and performing at your best. It's described as this ultimate state of engagement, being deeply present. It can even feel ecstatic sometimes.
Ecstatic. Wow.
And there's a resilience aspect, too. Regularly getting into flow can apparently help regulate stress hormones, like cortisol goes down, positive hormones go up. It's like hitting a mental reset button. You feel refreshed, invigorated, rewarding in the moment, and good for you long term.
Okay, this is all making so much sense. Creativity is for everyone. It boosts happiness and resilience, and it connects to this amazing state of flow. So, the million-dollar question. How do we actually do it? How do we cultivate this?
Right, the practical side. The good news is the sources offer some really concrete strategies.
Okay, lay them on me.
First off, and this connects back to creativity being a skill, practice. Just like anything else, you get better at being creative and finding flow by doing it.
Makes sense. You don't just wake up able to play the violin.
Exactly. Expertise, built through practice, actually makes flow easier to achieve. The better you get, the bigger the challenges you can tackle while staying in that flow state.
Okay, practice. What else?
Setting up your environment is huge. Flow needs concentration, right? So that means minimizing distractions.
Turn off the phone notifications.
Definitely. Let people around you know you need some focus time.
Yeah.
Maybe create a specific space or set aside regular times just for this. That signals to your brain, okay, it's focus time now.
Right, create the conditions for it.
Yeah.
What else helps?
Having clear goals, even small ones. Knowing what you're aiming for helps focus your attention. Think about that video game example, just reaching the next checkpoint. That clarity helps direct your energy and invites flow.
Okay, clear goals.
And also actively nurturing your inspiration. One source suggested keeping track of things that spark your interest, articles, images, ideas you stumble across online or offline.
Like a swipe file or a Pinterest board.
Yeah, exactly. Collect that stuff, then revisit it when you need a little spark to get started.
I like that. Actively gathering fuel.
And related to that is invoking curiosity. Maybe keep interesting objects around your workspace. Or try using creative prompts, like open-ended questions on cards, just to get your mind wandering playfully without pressure.
Just letting your brain explore.
And finally, a really important one. Choose activities that you're intrinsically motivated to do.
Meaning
Meaning you do it because you genuinely enjoy the activity itself, not just for some external reward like praise or money. Activities you do for the pure joy of it are much more likely to lead to flow.
find something that really pulls you in.
That's the heart of it.
Those are all fantastic practical steps. But, okay, even with all that, I think we need to talk about that big elephant in the room for a lot of people. Self-doubt.
Ah, yes, the inner critic.
Right, that voice saying you're not good enough, or who do you think you are? One source really dug into this, suggesting it comes from wanting to express ourselves, but being terrified of what others will think.
It's a massive hurdle, and that source validates how common it is. Often that fear comes from comparing ourselves, or worse, internalizing other people's negativity or insecurities.
So what's the strategy?
Well, a key one is to consciously not take on others' doubts. Realize the negativity is often about them, not you. Focus on finding the people who do get it, who offer real encouragement.
Surround yourself with supportive people.
Absolutely crucial. People who lift you up, give constructive feedback, maybe even share their own creative struggles. And finding role models helps too, people who've navigated similar paths.
Learning from those who've been there.
Yeah, but ultimately a lot of it comes down to working on your own mindset, actively challenging that negative self-talk, stopping the constant comparison game.
Easier said than done sometimes.
Oh, for sure. But the advice is solid. Treat yourself like you'd treat a good friend. Shift the focus from what will they think to how do I feel about this process? What am I learning? Build confidence from within.
That makes sense, focusing inward. But what if the block feels deeper than just everyday doubt, like something really stuck?
Yeah, another source touched on that. Sometimes creative blocks aren't just surface level. They might be tied to deeper stuff like unprocessed emotions or even past trauma.
Really? Like old baggage getting in the way?
Potentially. The source suggested mindfulness practices can help here. Things like meditation or mindful movement like yoga or Tai Chi. They can help you access and maybe release some of those stuck emotions without judgment.
Interesting. So paying attention to your body and breath.
Exactly. Or even engaging with inspiring art, music, films, things that stir emotions and allow you to reflect on them. Sometimes just deep breathing when you feel that block can help regulate things and let you move through it.
So creativity isn't just a fun hobby. It can actually be a path for like emotional processing and growth.
It seems so. It connects really well to that idea of self-actualization.
Ah, Maslow's hierarchy, fulfilling your potential.
Exactly. One source brought that in, highlighting how creativity is intrinsically linked to that highest level. It's seen as this authentic expression of who you really are, operating at your best.
And there was that amazing story about Alma Thomas.
Oh, yes. Such a powerful example. Retired from teaching at 68 and then dives into her most significant artistic period, developing her unique abstract style, working into her 80s, getting major recognition.
She didn't care about expectations based on her age or race or anything?
Apparently not. She just focused on her vision, creating something totally new, something she said was different from anything I'd ever seen. It really highlights the courage it takes, right? To do things differently, trust your own path, even when it goes against the grain. It requires that clarity of purpose and valuing your own originality.
What an incredible story. She shows it's never too late, and it's about that inner vision.
Absolutely. A beautiful testament to creative fulfillment and self-actualization being possible for anyone, anytime, if they find that clarity and courage.
Okay, wow. We have covered a ton in this deep dive. We've gone from redefining creativity as something for everyone
A universal skill.
to seeing how deeply it's connected to our happiness, our resilience, our well-being. often found in that amazing state of flow.
Yeah, that zone of optimal experience.
And we got practical, too, learning we can actually cultivate it through practice, setting up our space, finding inspiration, having clear goals.
And tackling those inevitable hurdles like self-doubt and even deeper blocks head on.
Right. I think the core lesson weaving through all this is just how powerful and accessible embracing your creative side really is, whatever form it takes for you.
It really feels like a path not just to feeling good, but to living a more engaged, adaptable, and ultimately, yeah, a more fulfilled life.
And you don't need permission,
Yeah.
right, or fancy supplies, or even to be good at it.
Not at all. The emphasis seems to be just show up, start something, allow yourself to get lost in the experience of making or doing. That's where the magic happens.
So let's leave everyone with this thought, maybe drawing from everything we've talked about today. If these simple creative acts really do hold the power to unlock so much happiness, resilience, and potential within you, what's one small creative step purely for the joy of the process itself that you could maybe take today?